So next up, I would like to call up the founder, the producer, and manager of African Lotus Productions, Mr. Suda Singh, to please deliver the vote of thanks.
Namaste everyone. This is not normally my job to stand in front of everyone. I'm the person who stands behind everyone. But nevertheless, I think I am indeed really thankful for every person that's seated here in the hall and others who've been a tremendous support that are not with us tonight as well. African Lotus does a lot of work for the SABC, and our public broadcaster had been given a proposal from African Lotus last year to cover the story of the floods that took place at Tongaat, linking it with the story of suffering that Lord Rama himself had to bear for 14 years in the earth, and stood as an example to all of us to cling onto that faith of equanimity, of dharma, of righteousness, of servitude that Lord Rama himself stood for. And as our speakers tonight who graced the podium and spoke to all of us from their hearts have mentioned, it was the community that came together that saw us through to a day or an evening where we can actually celebrate. And a big thank you goes to all the role players that helped put together this function. At the outset, if I fail to mention a person's name, it's not because it's anything deliberate. It might be my own shortcoming, and for that I beg your forgiveness. There are some individuals that need some mention because of the way they went out of their normal lives to put together this function today, to bring together influencers and individuals together so that 60 people that slept on this floor for 3 weeks of their lives can now be seated in a place that resembles some opulence and share the same space with us. I know that Tongaat is still going through a lot of hardship with regard to water, but that is the case throughout the country now. There's places in Gauteng, few days without water. I myself come from the lower south coast of Durban. There's no water as well. But we have to have faith and we have to cling and go on. So those individuals that stand out, a special thank you to the current president of Vishwaroop Temple. I was introduced to him, Pai, Danje, Cassie, whose family, I think, are stalwarts in this area, and today he's leading the temple and has given us the opportunity to come together, utilize the same space. And he's done with more than just the space. I have to thank him for approaching the board members who together with him have given us the permission to use the premises tonight, to use their sound system tonight, to share with us the service providers that provided the decor, the plate settings, all the people that put together so many things that we can enjoy tonight. Thank you, brother. A huge thank you to also the leader of Vishwa Shakti, Hi, Kamal, Mr. Kamal Maharaj. From the early time when the floods came, from media, we contacted Kamal. Kamal Ji has been in contact with African Lotus for many times now, played a role in helping lift Hindu Dharma through his wise knowledge, his words, and his team, his band that support him. Thank you for the outstanding dance items that you provided and for your input and support in so many ways. A person who nearly caused the floods if he had to come and dance. Our brother Yogan, I think for so many of us, he's an inspiration, living the words of Swami Vivekananda, bringing together people from across his region and taking the teachings of our Dharma out to the world. Full of enthusiasm. Yogan Naidu, we know you from a long time. Thank you very much for being that link, I have to acknowledge, that brought all the different role players together for this evening's function. Thank you, Brother Yogi. I know we have to mention organizations, but I will fail in my duty if I have to mention the name as well. The person that's toiling with his band of volunteers to give us a hearty meal tonight, and who does so on so many other occasions, Heritage Day that's coming up on Sunday as well, teaching and sharing his knowledge with others. Brother Sujit Singh, you may not be here in the audience, you may be putting the last bit of dhania on top of the biryani, but a big thank you to you and the Tongaat Outreach Foundation for the food that we'll enjoy tonight. The families that are associated with this place have roots that run deep and far. And when the floods hit and our lives was changed, we changed that evening, that fateful evening. The call went to that chairperson at that particular time. My Naveen Pandey, a huge thank you for bringing in our brothers, warmly welcoming them, doing your best, bringing your band of volunteers and your board at that time together, and housing our brothers and sisters who went through so much of suffering that night. Thank you also for coming today and sharing with us your insight of that night's experience. Brother, hi, Naveen Pandey. Thank you. So far, we thanked a lot of Hayas, but our Benjis that came in front of us were not normally speakers, but who bravely came and shared their experiences. Our sister Chantel, thank you very much for helping us to put together the people that we see today as part of our guests. Chantel worked with Alicia, putting together the names, and she came bravely and shared her experience. A big thank you, Chantal. The other Bhinji that touched our hearts, with tears in our eyes tonight, and touched our lives as well, because when the media team came through and tried to uncover the story that was happening here at Tongaat, it was already 53 days into the floods. Yet we met a person with so much of resilience, so touching. It actually grounded us. She came in front of us today and spoke about humility. She spoke about oneness. She spoke about Vasudeva Kutumbakam. That's what seems to be the underlying thing of Tongaat for me. Tongaat might be an English word. It should have been Vishwa. And I see Vishwa Roop Temple, Vishwa Shakti coming together. The band that, or the bhajan singers that will serve us as well, also bear the name Vishwa. Special thank you to our sister Geeta Ramgarib for having that courage to share with us your own experiences, but more than that, to share with us your faith. Thank you, sister. It seems like my association and my company's association with Tongaat is growing. It might have begun with Yogan, but it's growing more and more because we met the cooks, we met the people that serve, we met the people that came together to help others and still do that. We met some stalwarts who are still with us and live the message of the Ramayana. They live the message of the Vedas. They live the values of our Hindu Dharma today. I had the chance to meet one such stalwart. And he, in the initial interview that we shared with him, or we had with him, he told us about the history of this place, the history of our forefathers that were here, that could give more than that they wanted or that they could take, and still give up to today. When I spoke to Alicia about it, it's not very easy to come up with funds to put together this function, but we wanted to. And the people came together, they rallied together, like I mentioned earlier, and they put together a function. And to put a little crowning glory on that function, Alicia made the call to this one stalwart. And it is because of him today that we have a bit of traditional sweets that we can enjoy. A very big thank you to Mr. Chunilal Vallabhji, who always comes forward in support of his community. He has the means to leave Tongaat because it doesn't have enough water sometimes. He loves India. I'm sure he could live there very easily. But he recognizes his roots of his ancestors, and he is proudly a Tongaat man. Very big thank you, sir. Okay. The bhajans that we're going to enjoy after I leave the podium is also going to be brought about by a group bearing the name Vishwa. Vishwa Sangeet will render the bhajans, and that will lead us eventually into our supper and our meals. A very big thank you to these organizations, the Tongaat Hindu Unity Forum, the Vishwa Shakti, the temple itself, Vishwarup Temple Society, who've done so much, and I've mentioned the individuals that helped. A big thank you for a brother that I came across when we were coming to set the place. He gave his entire day, life, feeling, with assistance, and I think he embodies that spirit of giving that Tongaat today, that we pay tribute to in Tongaat today. Bhai Krishna, he may be not in the hall today, he may be outside also putting the danya there, but he physically came, assisted us with the tables, the chairs, the styling, the decor. He was really the glue, I think, for our team that came here. I mustn't miss out the people that gave us this opulent decor that we can enjoy. I haven't met the gentleman behind it, but Suntide's Decor have done a sterling, outstanding job for us to come and put forth not only to the country on Deepavali Day, when this will be screened, but to the world and for posterity, for our grandchildren to enjoy, to look back on and enjoy. Thank you, a very big thank you for the decor to Sunset's Decor. I'm almost at the end. Before us, I think we are graced with people who came with dedication, came and gave their time. They are the men in black. They're bearing black magic with them. Yeah. And that's the name of the camels that they carry, by the way. So a very big thank you to the African Lotus team who did all the hard work in terms of the technical delivery. And a very, very big thank you to the African Lotus mascot, Alicia Kaiprasad. Well done with carrying this whole occasion together. Lastly, a huge thank you to Paramatma. We may call him in different names. Lord Rama, Lord Krishna, Swamiji's or Babas. Without that faith that we have in you, we lack the courage to go forward in life. So a huge thank you to Paramatma. Sayonara.
I would also like to take the opportunity to say a very heartfelt thanks to you, Uncle Suda, for organizing and also putting this event together.